my value to keep me? Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I can sing for my supper.
There is in my opinion, really great scene with Mattson and Tom, where Mattson asks Tom to soft pitch him, and I felt it kind of characterized casual misogyny that is like existent in this universe.
It's very
And
painful to watch.
yeah, the idea that like
He's a grinder, Kim.
the whole
Not
thing's been-
Tom, Mattson. I
Yeah,
was
well-
like, I felt myself like I like stiffened and was just like shrinking up until he finally said, "I kind of want to F her."
Clickety, well, because they clickety click.
What's upsetting, you know, is like it's because Mattson is attracted to her, so he's like, therefore she cannot be CEO. It's like,
Yeah.
that's just like deeply unjust, you know, arrangement, obviously.
Also, the weirdness of like him seeing it as a power thing to get to puppet the man who impregnated her. Like, he made it very clear.
Yeah, that was really
also,
upsetting.
like,
that was really upsetting.
Why don't I get the guy who put the baby inside her instead of the baby lady?
And then Tom said, "Okay, that sounds great. Let's definitely treat my wife like a piece of meat with a vagina who can grow a baby."
The story was the thing that set that all in motion. Like, he can say every single time that the cartoon didn't bother him, but when there is a massive profile of you and the key art is her pulling his strings, like, that was definitely like that set everything into motion. Also, incredibly quick turnaround time for a profile and that art to get commissioned to do the illustration.
Those are in the industry, those are called long lead time features.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it usually takes
even the New Yorker, it's like they print 2 weeks in advance. It's like how long have they been fucking working together? Like, it's been 5 days.
Yeah.
So
I would disagree though
yeah.
with like the idea that was only when he tipped into no longer like respecting her. The very first time that they met, the way that he like refused to hug her, to me it's not even about like, oh, he's always been a piece of shit. It's that he never, like, again, that line that Shiv said in her eulogy where she said that her father could never fit a whole woman in his head. Like, Mattson's just also one of those guys to me. Like, he never looked at her and was taking her seriously as a business person. He was always weirdly attracted to her or weirdly into the idea that he could mess with her in a way because she was a woman that he couldn't with her brothers. Like, that felt very clear to me from the start. And I just wasn't sure if Shiv was into that or not, or like if Shiv was like on board with that or playing along. And I thought maybe she was, but like watching the conversation play out between Mattson and Tom without her there was very hard for me to watch because it was just so blatantly like, yeah, this is just what happens behind the scenes. You give a woman, he was happy to take her ideas when they were good and when they were benefiting him. And then he tells Tom that it's actually kind of annoying that she has so many good ideas because he doesn't want a smart person advising him. He wants a puppet. And he especially can't handle the fact that Shiv won't be his puppet or fuck him.
It's horrible to have all of your worst assumptions confirmed by hearing how he talks about her, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's interesting because it's like, it's hard because it's like both things are true where he's extremely misogynistic, but also Shiv kind of at times goofed her, like her execution of working Mattson as well. I think it's like, both, like,
no worse than Tom, but sorry.
No, I think they all, I think it's like, she kept doing the thing that she's done throughout the show where it's like she gets her a little bit over, she puts the cart a little bit up before the horse, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Tom is definitely not more qualified, but well, I mean, I don't know, it's hard to say because he's actually running ATN, but like, it's like, but she always like overplays her hand a little bit. I mean, listen, none of them are fucking qualified. They're all fucking jokes. Like, fucking let Jerry run the company.
That's one of the things I love about the ending of Tom being on like the final victor is every single time we have seen Tom Wamsgams in a corporate environment, he has been almost completely incompetent. Like, we saw a glimpse of him in obviously in the election episode, but also in Our Jestes, We Hear For You, in also the Living Plus episode, where I don't know if you remember, like, he gave a little speech. He's like, you're all part of the Waystar family, and you're all part, and I'm part. And it's just like, this is the empty-headed, absolutely no skills, failing upward, Nepo baby, like whatever the heck it, and the idea that he this guy who Shiv rightfully refers to as an empty suit is the guy who ends up running the place is, in my opinion, a very solid symbolic, thematically resonant plot development for this show. So
Yeah.
He was like, Waystar Royco, the place where you can watch ATN.
Yes,
Exactly.
Dave got it. David first was like, "What the fuck is he saying?"
The one to it's actually David Cho. It's the one to watch for ATN. I think that's it's Max, the one to watch for HBO, right? So
I wrote down.
Sorry.
I was doing hand notes while watching the episode as much as I could, and one of the only full quotes I wrote down was Tom saying, "I have an excess of vigilance and a high tolerance of pain and physical discomfort."
I have an excess of vigilance, I think, and I have a very, very high tolerance for pain.
Which was like his qualifications for being a good CEO for Mattson, and I was like,
I thought Tom. The thing is, I thought Tom's pitch was terrible.
Shiv says it right. He'll suck the biggest dick in the room, and he did. You know,
Yeah.
when Shiv's right, she's right.
yeah.
But it's even like, you know, Mattson, I think he's like, what's your hang like? Is that what he says? He's like, he's basically Mattson asking like, what's your vibe? And like Tom gives an answer that is so unlike Mattson's vibe. It's ridiculous. It's just like he is completely misreading Mattson in general.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but to me, in some ways, it's an unintentional good pitch because Mattson wants someone he can like. He wants a puppet.
Yeah,
he wants
He
someone
called.
he can boss
He said he
around.
wants a pain sponge.
Yeah.
Right? It was like the word he used, and I was like, if there's anyone on the
love that.
show who's a pain sponge, it's Tom. His whole relationship with Shiv has been like training up in pain sponge levels, and now I guess they're just gonna do that together forever.
Oh my gosh.
Question mark. Big Gone Girl
At least
energy
for a
from
few
the
more
end
months.
of-
Once Kendall uncovers Mattson's plan to make someone else CEO, Shiv needs some way to verify that that is true. And so Kendall says, hey, go ask Carolina for the press release. You'll see that your name is not on it anymore. And I mean, I am skeptical as to whether Carolina would send her the press release in that condition, but that felt to me like, oh, that feels like relatively true. If there's something that you're leaving out until the very last minute, it would be reflected in the press release. David Cho, I am curious, you know, if you have any opinion on how realistically that all played out with Shiv being screwed out of having the CEO job at the end there.
I thought that was really accurate. I also thought that when they call the banker Telly as like an independent third party, and Kendall calls him and he says, hey man, did you get my text? And he's like, yeah, I just got it. I just read it. And then he asks him, do you think Shiv is going to get fired? Like I said, effectively, I was like, damn, did Kendall just really like 12D chess it and send him a text telling Telly to be like, tell Shiv that she's fucked, whether you know it or not. Because he's like, should we call Laird? Should we call Telly? And like, he kind of is like, I'm sure he sent text to both of them saying, we're going to call you. Just tell her it's fucked. Because he knows, I believe that he knows that it is fucked, but he needs that really driven home. Right. And so I kind of like, that was sort of, I thought that was good gamesmanship by Kendall.
That makes sense. That's something that's very plausible that he would do.
Yeah. And it's like, it's like the way it's like done, it's in a way where it's like, when the first thing he says, did you get my text? Yeah. It's like, that to me was like such a specific reference to how you would do that.
Hey everyone, David Chen here. Thank you so much for watching that video from Decoding TV. If you want to get an audio version of the show, all you got to do is go to podcast.decodingtv.com. And if you want to support what we do, get ad-free episodes of the podcast and also bonus episodes of the podcast, go to decodingtv.com and become a paid member. Of course, you can also like and subscribe for more. We appreciate it. Thanks. See you later.